If you recall in the intro video on this work, I showed you all the components on the bench, and we talked through what I was going to do, and I said I had a little more work to do, and I did. Right now you see it's partially set up on the drill press table, and I wanted to show you a few details. For instance, that cross slide table, I've added a positive stop system on it. That's that block in the middle, and you see those two threaded rods. The threaded rods are on blocks that are attached to the table, and that block is on the frame. So that is set up so that as I move the cross slide table one way or the other, I can set those threaded rods up to stop it and hold it in a position, and that way there I can always have my routing end at the points that I want. You'll see that in action when we get going. Now I've got the cross slide table set up with the rotary table on top of it, and that's that big guy there. You can see now the degree wheel and the index point, and we'll be using that to make the radial cuts. You see right to the left of that a brake system that I built for the table. I had to replace the ones that it came with because they stood up too tall, and that bolt head would hit the adapter plate that I made that holds the face plate on the rotary table. Up here is the block on the drill press which will hold the high-speed die grinder. That'll be in the hole to the left. And again, you'll see how all that works when we get going, and I'll show you the setup. Part of the setup is making sure that the center of that die grinder, which will be, as I said, to the left, will pass through the center of the rotary table in this case as I move the cross slide table. You can set it up differently for different effects, but for the effect I want, that's how I have this set up. You'll see that we'll still use the depth adjustment rod that's on the drill press to adjust the depth that we bring the high-speed grinder down on. All that will make a little more sense as we get the whole thing set up. So let's go to that step and I'll walk you through it, and then we'll do some carving. Well, I'm about ready to make the first attempt at this machining, and I figured I'd show you what I've got set up first, and then I'll pull you in close to watch the cutter. But I've got it set to the first point. I've already showed you the design I'm going to machine into this, and hopefully it'll come out the way I expect. I'm going to have to go slow with this because I don't want to make a mistake. Obviously there's no way to erase problem when you machine it in. As you see here, the cutter is kind of posed just above the material I'm going to be cutting. You can see I can move it, and I'll be piercing through that to start my cut, and then I'll just proceed to make the geometry according to my little diagram. And when I get ready to start this, which will be very shortly, you may want to turn the sound down on whatever device you're watching this on, because it's going to get very loud and kind of irritating. I don't know how this camera is going to care for that, but we will just see. So let me get ready, and we'll make our first cut. Here goes. Well, that's roughly it. And that's what I'll be repeating as I go along. So I guess when I'm finished, I'll show this on my website or something. I just wanted to show you how this kind of a setup can work. And maybe I'll inspire you to try something else like this. Clearly it's very painstaking and time consuming, but when you're done, it's something that most likely no one else will have. Thanks for watching. Well, I finished the machining, and you can see how it turned out. That's pretty much the look I was after. Clearly I have a lot more work to do on this, and that's part of why I thought I'd show it to you like this, because there is some chance for snapping one of those off while I continue to work on it. I have to cut it off the faceplate, finish the foot on the lathe, and then sand and finish a lot of those edges that came out a little bit rough. I had to change the cutter halfway through because the cutter I had was a little bit tired. So I'll be sanding on that very carefully, I'm sure. And hopefully this will come out the way I have it planned. And that's my new technique for coming up with a design like that. As you can imagine, there's just tons of things you can do with that idea. So have some fun.